Hello everyone and welcome back to the Arsenoth Ossuary. Hello from the distant past, the year 2016. Wow. How's the future, everyone? How is the future of 3 weeks from now? Anyway, we are, oh no we're not, level 15. Alright, well we are doing the level 10 Thaumaturge quest. And oh no, we're gonna have to do more potato voices. Oh geez, it's been a couple of days. I've forgotten how many bloody look, I'm sorry, none of these have gone out yet, as you know. So you're already probably complaining about the salt, about the salt that I throw on these potatoes. But I really cannot help it. You guys, they just make me so fucking angry. The Threat of Paucity. All right, the second chapter of Thaumaturgy, the Yawning Anus.
Yes, Grunty, the aura of power surrounding you is palpable. The glare begins to blind my Thaumaturge's eye. Your lesson today shall be taught by Kokobani. Go to him and hear from the chapter entitled The Threat of Paucity.
Like I say, it's been a couple of days, so that might not be the exact potato voice I was giving these bloody turnips, but you know, it's close enough, surely.
Aha! So, Grunty, you've come to learn at the foot of the third eldest brother, have you? I promise you, however, your education shall not be a third rate.
You get it, guys?
Let us read from the second chapter, shall we? Are you settled? No last moment trips to the privy? Very well. The Threat of Paucity. How magnificent is the ruthless power we wield. Flame devours, ice entombs, and lightning courses through the stricken bodies of our foes. But oh, such a desperation when the wellspring runs dry. Flame sputtered out, ice melts into slush, and lightning sparks no longer. Know you this threat, and mind you the limits of your mortal vessel. A terrifying thought, isn't it? A Thaumaturge who exhausted his arcane reserves is naught but a man with a stick and a funny hat. For we mages, as you may well equate the etheric energy flowing through our veins with our very lifeblood, should the battle find us lacking in this precious resource, we are as good as dead. Controlling the expenditure of your power requires an understanding of etheric balance. The scales can tip in one of two directions, astrally or umbrally. When your mind and spirit lean in an umbral direction, your thaumaturgy is affected by the state known as umbral ice. The potency of your spells is diminished, but they also require less energy to invoke. On the other hand, the thaumaturge in the astral fire state will find the potency of his incantations enhanced, but at a greater cost to his etheric stamina. Now, with the concept of etheric balance and efficient casting foremost in your mind, I bid you go forth and slay 8 efts. Pray do your best to stay alive. It reflects badly on me when the mauled corpse of one of my pupils is returned to the ossuary. Well, I am so sorry for your loss. Now, where are we going to be killing these Fs? I assume it's going to be central. Alright, Threat of Paucity. May as well teleport to Brush to save some time. Being lazy, not wanting to use our feet. Like a classic black mage. Standing there greedy casting, getting hit by all the things. Sound like someone I know. Now, that was interesting. We're talking about balance. We're talking about, again, you guys know by now already, that particularly when it comes to black magic and thaumaturgy, I like to get into the metaphysics. Now, what we have here, it's intuitive to most people, right? That if we're channeling fire aspected ether, we're going to heat up, right? And we're going to need to cool down, as it were, by channeling ice ether. That makes sense to most people when it comes to switching between the two stances. What a lot of people might struggle with is that there's actually a 3-dimensional aspect to our wheel of elements that I've talked about in some other places. Actually, let's put it up. You know what? This is now an episode of Eorzean Metaphysics. How about that? Getting real meta with this video. So let's throw that up. So here's the sphere of the elements. So as you see, we've got fire and ice that should be opposing each other on the sort of 2-dimensional plane. But on that 3rd dimensional plane, we also have
astral and umbral. Now, my theory, at least, is that Hydaelyn, as opposed to the void, is mostly made up of astrally aspected ether. So, astral fire is something that comes quite naturally to us, and as a result, the fire spell is going to be more powerful. There's more astral ether around us and flowing into our body than umbral ether, and therefore an astrally leaning spell is going to be more powerful than an umbrally leaning spell, right? But what it means is that the more astral ether we produce or channel, the more we start leaning not only towards that fire spectrum, but towards the astral end. And the balancing act isn't only negating the fire, it's negating the astral with channeling umbral ether. And of course, we do our ice ether at the same time to balance and sort of bring back to zero the fire. But because there's less umbral ether in Hydaelyn and in our bodies, the umbral spell of ice is less powerful. Now, what we could be doing alternatively, I mean, we all make jokes about ice mages, but in theory, if we were using, say, astral ice, it would be doing similar damage to what astral fire is. And then we could switch to umbral fire to balance out the ice and to bring our elemental leaning and our sort of polar leaning back into where it needs to be. What am I doing wandering over here? I can't do two things at once, guys. I can't talk about metaphysics and kill some fucking Eths at the same time. Anyway, so you guys know what I'm saying. So why then do we use astral fire rather than astral ice? My theory is it's because Thaumaturgy has evolved here in Thanalan, you know, in the dry heat, in the deserts, and there's a lot more fire aspected ether floating around than ice aspected ether. So that's just, you know, what sort of evolved into our art as a matter of convenience. Now we're going straight back to the guild, so I'm going to teleport back there. Whereas if we had developed Thaumaturgy in a much colder climate and there was a lot more, you know, ice aspected ether in the land and in the air and moving through our body, then we'd probably be casting astral ice as a matter of course. What is interesting is that even when we're in, you know, those cold dungeons in Coerthas, we're a creature of habit and we're still casting astral fire, aren't we? Now the implication there is that when you see void magics, so you see, you know, void fire or void thunder or void ice, what void fire is going to be is umbral fire, and what void ice is going to be is astral ice. So they're using the same thing, the same sort of rotation, the same process that we would have to use in reverse. Umbral ether, again, according to my theory, this isn't confirmed by any means, but it's sort of very evident in all of the field trips that we've done into the void that there's a lot more umbral ether in the void than astral ether, and the void is mostly made up of umbral energy. So the umbral spells are going to be more powerful for a void creature. And the flip side, their balancing is going to be in casting astral spells to sort of, you know, regain their etheric stamina, as Coco Barney was putting it. Now, I'm sorry if that's a little bit confusing. When I do tend to talk about metaphysics, I tend to write a script for it. But I hope that looking at my ethereal sphere model is helpful there at all. And of course, if you've got any questions about it, leave them below and I'll be happy to clarify. Absolutely stoked to clarify, because it's one of my favorite things to be talking about in the game.
Aha, you ride before me upright and breathing. Wonderful. It is so much simpler to pose questions to a student without having to resort to necromantic divination.
I hope that's a joke, Kokobani.
Tell me, Grunty, what action would you take if you found your thaumaturgical endurance exhausted in the middle of the battle?
Flee or brandish my scepter as a club? Well, you found your mana ran out, you just transpose. But I think the correct answer here is going to be flee.
Oh, most practical indeed. A discreet withdrawal to await the replenishment of your energy to the sound strategy. But should there be no layer left to run, a vial of ether can be your status ally. Ether, rather. Ah, ether, the draft of the gods. We Thaumaturgists, indeed any who practice the arts of arcane manipulation, value the substance above all others.
You know what? We actually value a proper rotation above all others, and we value the fact that we don't have to use ether.
Thus it was with unbridled fury that we received the most recent report of beastman activity. It seems an Amaljar raiding party has attacked a caravan on the trade routes and made off with an entire crate of precious ether.
Oh, they are in trouble.
The time has come for you to put your new knowledge to the test. Annihilate these Amaljar bandits and retrieve the cargo of ether-filled vials. According to the report, their armored war transport was last spotted to the south of Dryburg. And I believe Kogabuki has an additional request. While you are busy incinerating Amaljar, be sure to collect some samples of their blood, assuming you can draw any from their smoking remains.
Brutal. Alright, we're about to meet the lowest level Amaljar ever to have been seen anywhere in Eorzea. And geez, they really are inviting some pain on them by stealing something that these little Thaumaturge potatoes are all about. Claim to value above all else. Well, now that we're not talking about ether and metaphysics, I might actually be able to concentrate on what I'm doing with my abilities. Level 7 Amaljar Raider. That really has to be the lowest leveled Amaljar in the entire realm. I'm calling it right now. If anyone's ever seen a lower leveled Amaljar, you're lying. Screenshots or it didn't happen. Wow, they didn't put up much of a fight. Alright, there we go. And we did obtain their blood just automatically. Alright. Yeah, so as I was saying, if what I was talking about there with the sort of ethereal balancing act and the fact that, you know, we're balancing both astral and umbral and fire and ice, if that's confusing to some people, then please say so below and I'll clarify it in a future episode. I'm sure it's the kind of stuff that we're going to be talking about a few times with our black mage friends as we proceed down this journey of ours. But then again, of course, I'm not going to be seeing any comments on this video for a long time, so I'll probably have forgotten all about it by then, and I'll probably be talking about it all over again with absolutely no prompting whatsoever, as if it is fresh and exciting and something that we've never discussed before. But still, leave some questions. I'll see the questions and I'll write them down. Believe it or not, I do read all of the comments that everyone ever leaves ever. I reply on, I think I reply on more comments, like a lot more comments than what most YouTubers do. But if I don't reply, it doesn't mean that I haven't read it and I don't think it's valuable. It just means that I haven't really had much to say off the top of my head.
Do I take the scent of ether? And I trust that stench is Amaljar blood.
That's right. This malodorous lifeblood is so dark a red it almost appears black. Charming. And there's our ether crate. Copious amounts of packaging hay.
Oh, 10 vials, 20, 30.
You count quite quickly, Kokobani.
The sight of so much ether is just so very comforting. What have we here, Kokobani? Is it the crate that was stolen? I see Grunty's lessons have had the desired effect. I will assume this vile viscous liquid you have there is beastman blood. Kokobushi should be pleased. Kokobuki, you left word for me to visit Ossuary. Have you finally decided to begin my training in Thaumaturgy?
Oh, this fucking turnip again.
Ah, Kokobushi, good of you to come. Grunty here was kind enough to obtain a supply of Amaljar blood for you. An alchemist acquaintance of mine explained how you had been using this substance in your research to create a mana-amplifying elixir. Naturally, we are most interested in the results of such experiments. So you see, Booty, your work as an alchemist already puts you in a position to work alongside us. You needn't become a Thaumaturge to be part of our family. That's right, Booty. Besides, this battlefield is a dangerous place, and our skills are not exactly suited to keeping others safe from harm. I see. This is but another attempt to dissuade me from pursuing my true calling. I do not want to cheer you on from the safety of my workbench. I want to fight at your side. But Booty, we cannot stand the thought of you being harmed. Pray do not do anything foolish. I do apologize, brother. I sometimes forget how difficult it must be not having a natural aptitude for the arcane arts. As I mentioned before, Grunty, Kagabuchi is dangerously unsuited to the wielding of Thaumaturge. Even with the proper training, he'd be unable to cast magics as we can. Were he to attempt to force a manifestation of power, the strain on his acidic reserves would likely kill him. But let us not dwell on this unpleasant circumstance. For you, on the other hand, are brimming with thaumaturgic potential. Remain diligent in your studies, and do not cease in your efforts to expand your wellspring of power.
It's just fucking talking about him like he's not there. I feel a little sorry for Kokabusi, I gotta say. And that's not something that I'll say, I'll say lightly about a Latherfell. Anyway, there we go. Man, that voice, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but that voice really starts to strain my throat after a while. Anyway, there we go. We have some more Thaumaturge lore, some more Thaumaturge metaphysics from the far distant past. And when we catch up, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave any questions. Next, we're going to be doing level 15, and that's where I'm going to be leaving it for the moment. And I'll catch up with these once we're all done with Summon Up, because I'm pretty sure that Black Mage was actually coming second on our straw poll way back when, and that actually beat Scholar. We're just doing Scholar first for the sake of convenience. Anyway, people have been asking me to wave, so there you go. There's a wave. There's a beautiful wave from Grunty, and no, we can't see his Grundle, so it's just Grunty at the moment. And I'll see you guys all next time. Cheerio. Bye-bye.